Hey everyone, I'm back again with another Dear Diary video. I had already filmed this video. The most aggravating thing happened to me. We are in Mercury retrograde, so technology is likely to fail and miscommunication is likely to occur. Just to let you guys know, if you all are having problems, I think Mercury retrograde ends the 26th or 28th of this month. I'm not sure. March. But yeah, I had already filmed this video literally like 2 days ago. And I've been having issues ever since. This whole week is spring break for me. And the first day I recorded a video, I filmed one video, I filmed a cover, and then after that I had to go to the hospital because my aunt was having surgery that day. So, I said, it's all good, you know. I mean, her health matters more to me than anything else. So, we left, and Tuesday, we stayed over there with the kids, so basically I didn't really get much sleep. Tuesday, I slept in. Wednesday, I got up again to do another video, and I filmed 3 videos. I was on a roll. I filmed 3 videos. I filmed the St. Patrick's Day video, and I filmed this one and another one, which now I have to do over because they got erased. Anyways, today's Dear Diary video is going to be a second part to... Not really a second part, but basically what I want to do with these Dear Diary videos is I want to talk about my experiences that I've had in my life, events, kind of storytelling type of thing. But I want to do it in order. I'm so tempted to like just talk about what's happening now, because that's what's affecting me the most right now. But I wanna do it in order, that way you guys can understand a little bit of my backstory, and so things make a little bit more sense. So today's video is gonna be about my best friend, how I met him, because he is a person who has influenced my life greatly. He still does to this day. He plays such an important role in my life, and he's made me the woman I am today due to the experience I had with him. So, I met my bestest friend in the whole wide world when I was 13. He was 15 years old. I actually met his cousin first. I met him through his cousin, which was my best friend at the time, when I was in middle school. I think I was in 7th grade. So I met him like in 2009. I think I became really close friends with her because I had her in class. We met each other. We started really hanging out. We started talking a lot. We had a couple classes together and we had lunch together. So I got to meet her. I got to meet her cousin, her brother, all of them. And then I started going over to her house, which is how this happened. One day she invited me over in November to, I can't remember what was going on, but she invited me over to her house because they were having dinner for some reason. And we were all in the kitchen, all the kids were, well, the teenagers were, and this guy, he was so tall, and he was like really quiet in the corner. He was like, hey, what's your name? And I was like, my name's Christy. It was a little weird because I'm not the most social butterfly in the world. Like, I'm not like that. I'll talk to you. Don't get me wrong. If I go to a house or if I go somewhere and there's people there, I'll be like, hey, how are y'all doing? But I'm not the type of person to start conversations with random people just out of the blue. And he did. So, which I'm so glad he did. So we started talking a little bit. We didn't talk too much, but he would ask me a couple things here and there, and next thing you know, it was time for all of us to leave. Party was over. We left like nothing happened. 2 weeks later, this was during the MySpace time, like the MySpace era. It was like the last few years of MySpace, really. He found me somehow on MySpace. I really don't know to this day how he got my information. I want to say I know who. I'm not going to say names, but I want to say I know who gave him my information to find me. But I'm not sure really to this day. I'm still wondering that myself. But yeah, he found me. He sent me a message. He was like, "Hey, mi Eliseo, your best friend's cousin." I'm not gonna say her name. He was like, the one with the mustache and the braces and the glasses. And I was like, "Yeah, I remember you." So I was like, "Hey," like, I didn't really want to talk to him that much because I didn't really know him, but I was talking to him anyways because I felt bad. Like, I'm not the type of person to ignore people. Like, if you're talking to me, I'll talk to you back. Like I said, I'm not like that. And we talked a little bit here and there, really. We kind of started off on bad terms because I told him one day that I was going to break into his house and steal his cereal, and he was like, not having that. I was joking, obviously, but he like took things so personal sometimes. So he got mad at me because of that. But yeah, after that, really, there was this one day that me and my friend started talking. I think he was pretty upset at me. I can't really remember. And I was telling her, your cousin, he messaged me. I don't know how he found me on MySpace, but he messaged me. And we've been talking a little bit, but he's gotten upset because I don't remember what I told him. I don't remember if it was the cereal incident or if it was something else. But she was like, don't be mean to him. Like, don't be making him mad and this and that. And I was like, okay. I wasn't trying to be mean. I was just joking around with him. Like, that's it. Like, I didn't mean it in any bad way. She's like, yeah, because his mom passed away like a couple months ago from cancer. And I was like, whoa, like, I didn't know this. I didn't know this at all. I didn't know him. Like, I had only met him that one time. I never asked her about him. I never even paid attention because he was usually like really quiet. The time before that he had been there, he hadn't talked to me. He was with the adults and he was really quiet. Everybody was saying he was like in this corner. He was really quiet. He wasn't talking to anybody. So after his mom passed away, this next time that I saw him, which is when we actually communicated, he talked to me. He was much more talkative. So, yeah, this was some new information that I didn't know. After this, I felt really bad for him. But, like I said, we were already talking. I wasn't going to cut him off. And I felt bad. So I was like, I kept talking to him a little bit more, getting to know him more. And we became really good friends. We talked every single day, 24/7, every single day. There was not a day that passed by that we would not talk to each other, that we were not texting each other, really. We talked on the phone occasionally, like once a week. We would listen to music. We would listen to like the top 5, top 10 songs on the radio stations. And we would just sing. That was mainly what we did. And we would talk about our day, how we felt, about school, other people. Basically, that's what we talked about. But yeah, we became really close friends. We did have a couple arguments here and there. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, we were very close, but we bickered a lot. So basically, we talked like this for almost a whole year. I think in October. Yeah, in October, I got my phone taken away. I think I got my phone taken away, and I think I wasn't able to communicate with him for a couple of days. I wasn't able to make phone calls. I was able to text, but I wasn't able to make phone calls or something like that. So I messaged him a couple of times, and I was like, because I got in trouble because I was always on the phone talking to him. Like, I always had my phone. During this period, I always had my phone on me. It was constantly vibrating. Because it's like, I would send him a text. And then 2 to 5 minutes later, he would send me a text. And we were just talking like this all the time. I mean, everybody knew. Everybody in his family knew we were always talking. My parents knew, his dad knew, not his mom because she wasn't, well, she probably knew, but she wasn't here physically is what I meant. But everybody knew we were talking to each other. And like I said, I've always had like pretty overprotective parents. So my dad was like, he cut my phone off because he wanted me to do things. Like one time we were outside, I think, fixing this fountain in front of the house. And I was doing what I was told. It's just that throughout the time of me going inside to get whatever, I would text him. Shoot him a message. So he caught me and he cut my phone off because of that. And I was in 8th grade, I believe, when this happened. So yeah, I was like, I called him one day and I was like, my birthday's approaching. Do you think you can make it? And he was like, yeah. We were gonna go skating because he had gone skating with his cousins before and I wasn't able to go, and I loved skating, so that's where I did my birthdays basically. When I was a teen, I just about had all my birthdays at this skating place. So my birthday comes and his cousins make it. Everybody's there except him and my best friend's brother. He was the only one, and my bestest friend in the whole wide world, the guy, Eliseo. They were the only two that weren't there. Just the two guys. They were the only ones that weren't at my party yet. So I called him after a while, and I was like, "Hey, you still gonna make it?" And he was like, "No, I'm at the bowling alley with her brother." So I was like, okay, but you can still make it, right? And he was like, no, I don't think so. And I was like, okay. It wasn't even his birthday or anything. It was only my birthday, you know. And he had already told me he was gonna go. So this irritated me a lot because he told me I'm the type of person that if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And I like for people also to tell me if they tell me they're going to do something, they stick with their word, because it really bothers me when somebody doesn't. Like, it bothers me. And what he did, like, it really hurt because I wanted him there. Like, we were so close. We became so close. I wanted him there, you know? And then for him to, like, go off with her brother when it's not even his birthday. And okay, he went, you know, that's okay. But what got me was that he wasn't going to come at all. So, I mean, now that I'm older, I realize, you know, I'm not mad about it anymore. I'm not holding grudges towards him or anything. Because I didn't realize at the time that he wasn't good at skating. He had already gone and he had fallen lots of times, and we had already argued over this because I got upset that they never invited me. And since he went and whatnot, and he never told me either, I laughed when he told me that he had fallen skating. So I'm guessing he was afraid to go because he didn't want to be embarrassed, you know, in front of everybody again. If he had already fallen, he was going to fall again, and he didn't want to fall in front of me or anybody else. So I understand his point. Like, now I see why he probably didn't make it. Maybe he had plans to, but since he didn't know where I was going to do it, he didn't want to tell me, you know, change the place or anything like that. So that's why he didn't go. So, yeah. I got really upset at him, and I didn't message him for like 2 weeks after that. I didn't message him. I didn't call him. Nothing. No communication. I got really upset. I used to hold grudges really, really, really badly back then. I still do, but after what happened with me and him, I tend to try to let go my grudges quicker. I try not to let them go on like this, because I always think in his situation, in the situation that we had, So 2 weeks passed by, almost 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks passed by. And then 3 days after that, I started feeling like, like I've been mad at him for too long, and I missed him. I missed talking to him. I talked to him every single day. He didn't have brothers. That's another thing. He didn't have brothers. So he knew what it was like to be an only child like me, to be independent, to not rely on anybody emotionally or physically, because we were lonely childs. We didn't have no siblings, no brothers, no sisters, nothing. So I was really missing him really bad, because he was the only person that I could, talk to. I mean, I talked to my other friends too. But for some reason, he understood me on a deeper level. He was also a Scorpio. He was a Scorpio, and he was a Earth moon also like me, except he was a Virgo moon, and I'm a Capricorn moon. So we got along really good, really deeply, because we both understood what it was like to be very empathetic people, very deep in our feelings people. So that's why we also got along with each other really good. I was really missing him so bad, and I just picked up the phone and I called him, and I didn't say anything before he beat me to it, and he was like, "I'm sorry," and I told him it's okay, We started talking like normal again, just like always, and I'm really glad I did that, because I think there was something. I was feeling something that was telling me that. So, I think another 2 weeks passed by. We did talk a little bit, but 3 days before this incident, I wasn't able to have communication for him for 3 days before what happened. I can't remember why. I don't know if I really got my phone cut off all the way. Even the phone call. I think I got everything cut off. My phone calls, my texts. I couldn't get on Facebook, nothing. So I had like 3 days of no communication with him. And then Tuesday came up, and it was time for me to go to school. So I woke up, I went to school. I was really excited this day. Oh, before Tuesday, Monday night, when I laid in bed, I could not sleep. I had such a difficult time going to bed. I could not sleep for some reason. I was just tossing and turning, and I didn't know why. But I could not sleep. I eventually did. And like I said, the next day I woke up in a really, really good mood. I was excited to go to school and see my friends. I had some joke that I was about to crack. I really don't remember anymore what it was, but I remember I had this joke that I was gonna tell them. I was so excited. And I showed up. I went in through the doors of school, and I was so excited because I saw them through the outside, and I was so excited that they were there, and I was so excited to tell them whatever I was gonna tell them. But when I went inside, two of his cousins, my best friend at the time, and her cousin, were there, because I only went to school with these two girls. And her brother was there also, but he was in a higher grade because he was Eliseo's age. So they were just crying. These two other girls that we hung out with too, they were there, and they were just crying, bawling their eyes out. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, what's going on? And his cousin was the one who told me that he wasn't here anymore, that he had passed away. I still remember the tone of voice in which she told me this. I still remember it like it was yesterday. And I just felt my heart drop. It just dropped so bad. And I was like, I didn't know how to feel. I was so shocked, and I hugged them, and I was like, I'm sorry. I felt bad for them, but I couldn't believe it yet. It was not going through my system yet what was going on. As I started going up the stairs to my class, I just started thinking of every single memory we had. The few times that we saw each other in person, every single phone call we had, all the text messages we sent to each other. All of the memories started going through my mind. And when I finally got to the top, it finally hit me. Him, my best friend in the whole wide world, wasn't here anymore. I just didn't understand how. He was so young, he was so healthy. But it finally started to sink in, and after that, I just started bawling my eyes out. I went into my classroom and I was crying so much, I could not hold back the tears any longer. Like, it finally hit me. It's not that it hit me, it's just that I think I finally accepted the thought of maybe it's true and he's not here anymore. And I just started crying, just thinking about that thought. I was so upset. So upset. Like I said, I don't even remember what joke I was gonna crack because it just shocked me. And everybody was hugging me. I was telling everybody what was going on. I made it through that whole school day. I really don't know how. Really don't know how I made it. But yeah, I survived. I really don't remember what went on in school. I know I just cried that whole day. I couldn't sleep. That whole week I went to bed late until the Friday came around. That was when they were going to start his funeral service. And it finally came to that day. My best friend's mom stopped by the house and she told my mom what time the funeral service was and where it was going to be. And Friday came around. It was finally time to go. We lost ourselves. Like, we got lost on our way there. It was crazy. It was so dark and we got lost. Finally found the place, and I kind of finally felt like I just cried so much I felt like I couldn't cry anymore. But when I saw our priest from church out there, it just hit me all over again. We're here, we're doing this. I'm gonna see him again. So I got down, and one of our friends, she met me. She saw my car and she met me outside my car and she hugged me. She said she had brought him this rose, this yellow rose. And I had a yellow rose also for him and some other things. And we just hugged each other, and then we finally went in. And we were finally calm, and then I really didn't want to go in. I didn't want to go in. There was a little hallway in the entrance that I didn't want to go in past the doors to see him. So I stayed there in the hallway for a little bit with her. And she checked first, and she just started crying again. And I didn't want to. I knew I had to, though. I said, I have to see him, because what if it's not true? Well, what if he's alive? I have to make sure it's him. I have to make sure it's my best friend. Like, what if it's not him? And I finally checked. I opened the doors and I looked, and he was there. He was there, laying down, and I was like, yeah, he's here. It's him. It was so hard. It took me some time to get the nerves to go in, and I finally did. And I sat with my friends, my best friend and her cousin, and this girl that met me at the entrance. We all sat together, and I really don't remember much. I remember the pastor that was there giving the sermon. I remember him talking, but I really can't remember everything he said because I was just out of it. I was crying so much. His dad read him a letter. I really don't remember what he said, everything. I can't remember. I made him one too, but I wasn't able to. I knew I wouldn't be able to read it. So I just gave it to his dad. There was this point that we were all crying so much. I was sitting on his cousin's lap, and she was just holding me, hugging me. And we were just crying. When I finally got the nerve to go up to him, I just couldn't believe it. I touched his hair. It was difficult seeing him, seeing his body. Like, it was an experience seeing him there. It's raining right now. Definitely something I won't forget ever. And it's definitely been the most painful death I've ever experienced. I've had dogs pass away, and it hurt really bad. But I experienced a whole year of talking to this guy. We were like this. And just to not have him one day, it just broke me. It broke me down completely. It hurts so much, and it makes me value life now. It makes me value life more. It makes me value people more. Because there's always a solution to everything except death. To everything. You can have an argument with somebody. You can go a couple days without talking to them. But you can always reach them. You can always call them and fix things. But when this person is no longer here, it's not the same. Don't get me wrong, though. I've learned some things with him, and he's still here with me. I know he's still here with me. And that makes me so, so happy. But, physically, I can't hug him. You just can't do that. Something you have to learn to deal with. I took him 4 things. I took them this stress basketball that I got him because he loved UK. He loved watching UK play. He loved basketball. He played basketball. He loved basketball. So that's what I got him. And I got him a little car keychain because he was already 16. He turned 16. And he was about to start practicing for his permit, so he could get his permit and he could get a car, and he was so excited. He was really looking forward to getting his car. So I got him a little car with a keychain on it. I took him this bracelet with saints on it that I always wore. And I took him this plush toy, the alien from Toy Story. So he had something to hold. His dad took him a teddy bear that they gave them when he was born. When he was born, he got this teddy bear that they gave him at the hospital, and his dad put it there with him. That was basically Friday. I don't remember much Saturday. It was basically the same thing. I can't remember much. Sunday, I know they took him to our church, and that was when my whole family went with me. I was a mess again. I was just so upset. I just couldn't believe all this was happening right before my eyes. It's been a long time since he passed away. He passed away November 30th, 2010. A month right after his birthday, after he turned 16. I was 14. But it's crazy. It's crazy that it'll be 9 years this November. And he still visits me. The beautiful thing about this, though, is that he's still with me. I know he's with me in my heart, emotionally. He's here spiritually with me. And I love him so much for that. There's more stories that I want to get into. This is just the beginning of basically our friendship and how, and up to the day that he left this dimension, because he's not here anymore. I don't know where he's at, but he's not here physically with us anymore. But the most beautiful thing about this all is that he's still there with me. And I thank him so much, because he's literally my bestest friend in the whole wide world, and he will always be. No one will take his place. No one will. Because he knew things about me that not many people knew. He understood me on a deep level. And no one will understand me on that level that he understood me. So for that reason, no one will take his place. And I love him with all of my heart. I always did, and I still do. And it's amazing how not even death could separate us. It can separate us physically, but it can't separate us emotionally or spiritually. So yeah, after this, I view life different. I really do, and it's made me really strong to, I think, withstand the other challenges that I've faced in my life. But basically, I don't want to make this video longer than it is. It's 30 minutes already. But this is just me and my best friend's story. How we met. And everything. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. I love you all. Have a wonderful week. Bye. Besos.